Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to be unboxing 3 new Cologne fragrances, including Paris Corner's North Stag Deux. So let's jump into it. All right, we are back with another unboxing first impressions video of 3 new Cologne fragrances that I recently picked up. Links are going to be down in the description if you decide you want to check any of these fragrances out. Also have some coupon codes that save yourself a few bucks at a variety of different websites if you decide you want to shop with them. So pretty excited about this one. We have a Vach Cittoni, which this will be my second endeavor into that fragrance house, and I was pretty impressed with the first one. We have ourselves a Fragrance World, and we have that Paris Corner, the North Stag Deux, the one I've been trying to get my hands on for quite a while, so pretty stoked. So let's quit screwing around. Let's get into it. All right, kicking things off, going to the house of Vach Cittoni with Vach Cittoni's CEO. Now you can scoop this fragrance up for $88, but I have a coupon code PC20, save you 20%. Not an affiliate, don't get any kickbacks from that, just something that Vach Cittoni hooked me up with to save you guys a few bucks. And local Canadian perfumery that's been on my radar now for a little bit, and pretty impressed with their first one, so let's dive into CEO, see what it's all about. All right, and there we have the box presentation for Vach Cittoni's Luxe Official CEO. Decent looking box presentation, has the logo on the side there, name of the fragrance on the top. Nice thick cardboard box, and it is a slide off like a so to reveal our fragrance bottle bag and another travel atomizer that's sitting there. This is an Extrait de Parfum, is that what this said? Extrait de Parfum is what this one is. So, little travel atomizer sitting in this nice little podium. Let's get this out. I only got 2 hands. So we have ourselves this bad boy. So if you saw the unboxing for the other fragrance, this is kind of a handy dandy. It's kind of like a lipstick travel atomizer that lifts off right there, and you can fill up whatever fragrance you want in there, preferably a Vach Cittoni, I'm assuming, but nice little add-on to the box presentation there. And within this bag, we have ourselves the fragrance bottle. So, decent looking bottle presentation on this. Nice thick heavy glass, has a nice thick base to it. Kind of a glossed or frosted logo on the back there. Pretty straightforward, rectangular, kind of rounded corner thing. Cap on this, got a thick plastic, won't crush in my powerful hands. And the atomizer on this sucker. Ooh, pressurized atomizer. Oh hell yeah, pressurized atomizer for the win. So, box presentation, nice. But what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, immediately inspired by Creed Aventus. That's what we're going for here. Really nice, kind of juicy, realistic style of pineapple that's going on. Some additional citrus, a little bit of like a black currant sweetness that's going on there. Some nice birch, so it's got that kind of, that smoky, woody sort of feel going on to it, but it has a nice lightness to it, nice smoothness going on to it. So really nice opening on this so far, but let's dive in, see what we got. Yeah, so right out the gate, smelling this off paper, a little bit different than it was in the air. A little bit more of that black currants coming out, and there's an additional apple note that's in there, adding some additional fruity sweetness, but you're definitely getting that pineapple there. The birch in this is really nice birch that's coming through. It really adds that kind of, that earthy, smoky, like snappy style of woods that you kind of pick up in a lot of Aventus style of, you know, clones inspired by, but really well done birch in this. And you are getting some ambroxan that's coming up, little hint of that oak moss as well, and like touches of that black currant, but really nice opening, very smooth, and like the notes in this are like very like clean, I suppose would be the best way to put it in terms of being able to identify, you know, what's going on. Really nice. As it's opening up a little bit more, I'm getting a little bit of some fresh spice coming through, a little bit of a kind of a sweet, spicy pink pepper, just a little dash of it, but it's becoming a little bit more earthy, a little bit more of this moss, that birch coming through, hints of patchouli that are starting to push their way through. And that opening with that pineapple, that black currant, that apple are starting to sit down a little bit more. They were very dominant in that opening, but as we're getting towards the midpoint here, they're really starting to kind of settle in the background and give a little bit more room to those earthy, woody profiles with some of those spices coming through. Nice. There is this nice hint of this vanilla that's starting to push forward, which is, it's really started like taking this on a bit of a twist from that Aventus DNA. So it still has that backbone of the Aventus, but there's that vanilla that's coming through is kind of like softening things a little bit, adding not some like aggressive sweetness, but just like enough to kind of balance off against that birch, that oak moss, that patchouli, and it's kind of taking this in its own little interesting direction. So I'm digging this one, but let's skip to the dry down, see how it unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Vach Cittoni's CEO. Been about an hour, let it settle down, do its own thing. Gorgeous dry down on this. This is kind of like taking its own turn from that typical kind of Creed Aventus style of dry down. It's got this nice kind of ambery, musky style of like texture that's going on. So there's a bit of like a sweet musk that's going on. The amberiness just has this kind of like fuzzy, warm sort of texture going on to it. And it does have that vanilla. The vanilla is not a dominant note. It's not like a vanilla fragrance, but it's balanced off against that birch, the oak moss, and the patchouli. So some of those earthy, woodier tones. And it's really forming this kind of nice, smooth, textury sort of dry down that I'm really enjoying. And it does kind of like, it's still got that backbone that you would expect from like a Creed Aventus style of fragrance, but it's kind of taken its own twist with the textures that are there, with that little additional, that vanilla that's there, and I'm really enjoying it. It's just got this nice kind of like smooth kind of elegance going on to it, but still has that kind of masculine boldness as well. The pineapple and the like black currant apple sweetness and citrus profile still there, but it is sitting in behind a little bit, so you're still getting little pops of that fruity sweetness, that citrus sweetness is there, just adding some character to it, but through and through, really nice dry down on this. I am digging this one quite a bit. So if you're looking for a nice kind of twist on the Creed Aventus style of DNA, you might want to check this one out because it's got a uniqueness to it that I'm really enjoying, and the quality is definitely there. So overall, pretty pleased with this one. That's Vach Cittoni's CEO. All right, next up, going to the House of Fragrance World with Fragrance World's Ace of Spades. Now you can scoop this up for $26, give or take, at various discounters. So certified cheapie here, and that's pretty much all I know at this point. So let's dive in. All right, so there we have the box presentation for Fragrance World's Ace of Spades. Pretty straightforward cardboard box. It is a nice thick cardboard box. I can feel the bottle rattling in this right now. And got a little bit of a texture to it, kind of this Ace of Spades card on the front, but pretty typical cardboard box. Let's make sure this doesn't fall on me. There we go. Oh, a little crooked. Let's get that fixed. And something fell out here. Oh, it's a deck of cards. Oh, look at that. Little add-on for you if you want a little mini deck of cards from Fragrance World. It comes in this box presentation. I'm assuming that's a deck of cards in there, not just a bunch of Ace of Spades, but we'll find out later. Let's stick to this fragrance. Bottle presentation on this. Nice looking bottle. The cap on this is very interesting, but the bottle itself, typical kind of rounded corner, rectangular style of bottle. Got a nice thick base to it, fairly heavy, but the cap on this is nice little added doodad there with an Ace of Spades. And oh, it's a nice metal cap to this, so definitely got some weight to it. A little bit of a kind of additional detail on top of the Fragrance World logo sitting in the black there. So nice bottle presentation. I'm digging that. I'll let you guys know about the cards at another point. Atomizer on this. Uh-oh, here we go. Yeah, so atomizer. Fat puffs, goes an okay distance. It'll get the job done, but not that impressive. But what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, we definitely have ourselves a Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace clone inspired by Twist right now. Really nice spice profile that's going on right now. So it's got that clove that's in there, has a real nice chestnut, some pink pepper that's working in there, and a really nice rich Gaiac wood. So it's got that woodiness, almost kind of like a rich, like smoky aspect to it that's working really well with those spices. And that chestnut just giving it that kind of signature By the Fireplace sort of DNA going on to it. But I'm really liking it. It doesn't have as much as that kind of like sweet resin as some of the other ones do at this point in the air, at least. So interested to see the twist on this one, but let's dive in. Yeah, so right out the gate, smelling this off paper, this is a lot spicier than a lot of the other By the Fireplace type of clones. I'm getting a little bit of this kind of fresh, spicy juniper that's coming through, pink pepper, that cloves, that chestnuts adding that additional kind of spice and nuttiness, I suppose, and that Gaiac wood is really, really nice in this opening. So nice mix of some fresh spices, has that kind of warmth going on to it, mostly coming from that Gaiac wood, I think, but really nice spice profile, a little touch of some sweetness, but it's mostly about these woods, these spices, really nice. Yeah, this one has definitely got more like of that bolder, more masculine style of wood that's coming through compared to some other ones. And a lot of the By the Fireplace clones have a bit more sweetness than what's going on. This is a very similar spice profile. And like I said, like you're definitely knowing this is a By the Fireplace like twist or clone. But the wood in this is very masculine, very bold, has some nice spice to it, kind of got that rich, dark smokiness that's going on to it, that's mixing in with those spices, and there's not a lot of sweet coming through, just enough to just kind of pull it down and balance it off a little, but mostly this is like a lot darker and a lot like deeper than some of the other ones. Digging it. Yeah, I'm enjoying this twist on it. So a lot of the other clones have that orange blossom, kind of adds that floral sweetness, just like a bit of a softness to it. Even though it's a note listed in here, I'm not getting that same kind of sweetness. So like I said, or that floral touch, it's really got this nice boldness to it that I'm enjoying. So let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Fragrance World's Ace of Spades. Been about an hour. Let's settle down, do its own thing. Didn't change a whole lot, but the vanilla and the balsam came through a little bit more. So you are getting kind of this like nice smooth style of vanilla, kind of like a floral vanilla that's coming through, adding some sweetness. And then you get that nice kind of resinous, almost balsamic style of balsam that comes through. But it's really still about that spice profile with that woody profile that's coming through. So again, very rich, deep, like almost like smoky style of woods with a really great spice profile sitting on top. That's a little bit stronger, a little bit bolder than some of the other clones out there. It's not like huge in comparison to other ones, but definitely noticeable in terms of the kind of the depth and the richness that's coming through with this one versus some other ones. So probably, like, depending on the performance on this, which it was fairly strong when I walked back in this room, I definitely could smell this one. This might be kind of a top contender for the by the fireplace style of DNA. I'm really digging this one, and I think for 26 bucks, like, I think this is a good pickup, again, pending performance, but really pleased with this one. Scent profile on this is awesome, so might be worth checking out. That's Fragrance World's Ace of Spades. All right, last, but hopefully not least, going to the House of Paris Corner with their Paris Corners North Stag Expressions Deux. Now you can scoop this up for around $36 at various discounters, and this is the final one in the North Stag Expression series that I'm trying to get my hands on for a while. It just wasn't available at discounters around me for the longest time, and then I saw it pop up and I just had to scoop it up because I really enjoy me a Paris Corner North Stag Expression. So let's dive in, see what it's all about. All right, and there we have the box presentation for Paris Corner's North Stag Expressions. Beautiful box on this, the shimmery gold. It's got the North Stag Expressions logo going on there. Just absolutely gorgeous, thick cardboard box. Some of the details on the side there, and if memory serves, this kind of opens a little bit funny, like so. I'm just gonna be careful that this doesn't fall out in any way. Box opens up like so. A little bit of details going on right there. What is going on right there? Just a nice little poetic blurb about this. And then it opens up like so, revealing our fragrance bottle sitting on the inside. So box presentation, 10 out of 10. Definitely went above and beyond when it comes to that. And the bottle presentation, very similar to the other three North Stag Expression bottles. Nice rounded bottle here with a little bit of a rectangular base going on to it. We have the emblem on the front there as well as the back. Cap on this has kind of a nice bejeweled sort of thing going on there, and it is a nice thick heavy metal that's going on to this. Like, this would hurt if you dropped it on your foot. And the atomizer on this sucker, ooh, careful now, shooting in the wrong direction. Oh yeah, good atomizer, shoots halfway across the room, good distribution, will definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, this is, first of all, very strong. I'm not sure if it's because I almost sprayed myself in the face when I was testing the atomizer there, but very, very strong right out the gates. This aggressive apple, lavender, there's some cardamom that's going on with this one. So it's got the sweetness to it, it's got that aromatic touch to it, it's got that cardamom giving it a spiciness, but some additional aromatics going on. But like, apple is definitely kind of the sweet tone that's going on, but it has that aromatics, but it's strong. It's really quite nice and definitely reminds me of something. Let's get this on paper, dive in. Yeah, so right off the rip, just smell this off paper. Like I said, has that apple, adding that sweetness, like almost a little bit of a tartness to it. It might be a bit of like a green apple that's going on. So there's like the sweet, sour fruitiness that's going on. Really nice aromatic lavender, a little touch of some like green, so there's like some geranium that's in here. There is some pepper, like some black pepper that's coming through, is giving it a bit of a nose tickle, and I think that's what's giving it a bit of that oomph right now. And sandalwood's starting to poke through. You're definitely getting some of this like additional cardamom, fresh, spicy, almost sweet, aromatic style of cardamom that's coming through. So really nice balance of some apple, some aromatics, a little bit of some like smooth wood that's coming through. It's just, overall, it's a really kind of pleasant fragrance right now. Really starting to remind me of the Parfums de Marly's Leighton. It definitely has that kind of vibe going on to it. So I think that's what we're dealing with here, but so far, this smells great, but still it's quite strong. All right, as it's opening up, this is kind of calming down a little bit. Like I said, it was very strong in that opening, and It was a little bit all over the place, not in a bad way, but it was just like, my brain didn't know where to go, but now it's starting to settle in. It's starting to kind of gel together a little bit. So like I said, apple and lavender that's in there. There's a little hint of some citrus that's coming through. A little bit more woods are starting to poke through, but it's definitely got this kind of aromatic feel to it, a little bit of green touches. And I am picking up on sort of some like creamy vanilla that's really kind of tucked in behind this like very smooth style of sandalwood. So there's some nice smooth texture that's developing alongside those aromatics and that kind of fruity, fresh, spicy sort of touch going on to it. So very much reminding me of Layton. I'm gonna have to get these side by side, see if there's any differences, because it's not like jumping at me as a Layton clone, but it's definitely in that neighborhood. There's a little bit of some florals starting to come through. So like this violet that has like a very kind of like violet style of texture with some jasmine. So it has that soft white floral, a little bit of texture coming through, and I'm getting a little bit deeper wood. So the woods are starting to get a little bit darker, like this Gaiac wood perhaps that's coming through, giving it a little bit of a not quite a smokiness, but just kind of that depth and that richness that you get from some Gaiac wood mixing with the sandalwood. So starting to get a little bit deep. I'm curious what this is gonna dry down to. So let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Paris Corner's North Stag Expressions Deux. Been about an hour, let it settle down, do its own thing. Gorgeous dry down on this one. This one really turned into just a beautiful fragrance, and definitely a lot closer to that Parfums de Marly's Layton. Still has that apple sweetness, but it's more about this kind of vanilla, this sandalwood, this cardamom, that pepper, and that Gaiac wood that's there. Still getting those aromatics, so you're getting green touches from some of the geranium, a little hint of that lavender still. But it's got this beautiful contrast between this almost like a bit of a dark fruity sweetness from that apple. I think it's partly from the spices working in there. Kind of a nice creamy vanilla and sandalwood profile, nice kind of smooth dry style of sandalwood, and this deep rich style of Gaiac wood that's adding a bit of like additional spice to it, working with that pepper still. So it has a bit of that nose tickle style of spice that's working there. So there's like a lot of contrast that's just really working well together between some like smooth textures, some kind of more like smoky textures, sweet, earthy, woody, all mixing together, just forming a really great fragrance. And it is definitely strong. This is pushing off the paper pretty good. I'm curious to see how this is gonna do off skin, but I'm very impressed. This is, I'm gonna say right now, probably my favorite of the four from the North Stag Expressions, and I'm glad I got my hands on it because this smells fantastic. I think it's gonna be a great performer, and for 36 bucks, pretty pleased with this one. That's Paris Corner's North Stag Expressions Deux. All right, so there you have it. That's my unboxing of 3 new clone fragrances. 3 for 3 on this one. These are all like nice, sexy fragrances that I'm pretty stoked on. But I want to hear from you guys. What are some other fragrances you want to see me do an unboxing for, full review, all that jazz? Comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.